Hello, today we're going to be making a carrot cake for Mother's Day as it's coming up. This recipe is really easy and it's really tasty, so I hope you do enjoy this recipe. So firstly we're going to take 140 grams of carrots and we're going to grate it. The reason I'm taking a food processor is because we're using it in the recipe itself, but you can use a hand grater too. Just pouring this into a plate now. So there's the carrots that we've just grated, 175 grams of light muscovado sugar, 175 grams of self-raising flour, 100 grams of sultanas, and we've taken cranberries too, 175 milliliters of sunflower oil, 3 large eggs, a half teaspoon of grated nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and one large orange that's being zested. So now we're going to separate the egg into its yolk and to its whites. So now we're just adding the sugar, the sunflower oil, and the egg yolks. Now we're going to close the lid and mix it. Now I'm going to add the orange zest with the raisins and cranberries. And also the grated carrots. If you're doing this by hand, maybe putting one thing by itself so it's easier to mix, but as we're doing it with a food processor, it's easier. So now we're going to be adding the flour, and also with this 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. And with that, cinnamon and nutmeg. If you're doing this by hand, just adding it a bit by bit would be great. So now we are going to get the egg yolks that we separated earlier into a bowl, and we are going to beat it until it's light and creamy. The reason I separated it is that when it comes out of the oven, it will be nice and springy because of the air of the egg yolks, the egg whites. So if you do it like this, it will be more airy and more spongy. Even if you don't, that's fine, because we've added the bicarbonate of soda, so it will rise. But if you do it like this, it will be nice and spongy and airy. So now just adding the carrot mixture. So after you add it, just folding it in to fully mix it together. So just mixing it and folding it. Don't mix it too much, as it will press the air out of it, and that's not what we want, because we do not want a flat cake, we want a nice airy cake. So now just beating it. Now this is ready to pour into a tin that has been buttered and has got greaseproof paper in it. So now just patting it on the sides, so then the mixture will level out. So now just put this mixture into the oven that's been preheated to 180 degrees and cook it and bake it for 40 to 45 minutes. Take it out and pierce it with a knife or a skewer and see if it's clean. If it is, take the cake tin off, and when it cools down, it's ready to serve. So it's nice and spongy, as you can see. The nice rise of the cake is really good. So now I'm going to cut a slice to show you. This is a very nice and good cake to have with a tea, I guess, or something like after a heavy meal. It's very nice, it's very tasty, and the nice spices like the cinnamon and the nutmeg come through really well. As you can see, the sultanas and raisins are really good and they've shown well, and the rise of the cake, as I've said, is really good. I hope that this was a good recipe and you did enjoy it. And finally, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and to all the grandmothers out there.